All right, this is my review for Psycho Killer. I enjoyed this movie. I did. It was a bit long, and it's not even that it's long. It definitely is a more of a slow burn type of thriller. You do get some action spruced out throughout it, but there is a bit of a point where it does slow down enough where you like, what's going on. But I think the last 30 minutes of this movie really saves this movie for me because you're dealing with a girl who's trying to track down, she's a cop and she's basically being a detective at some point, trying to find out who the heck the serial killer is, try to find him, try to stop him, telling people where he's gonna be. People are not listening. Things are getting worse, and she's really trying to figure this out. And I did appreciate this movie. I did, especially the last 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes I thought was pretty good, and the last 30 minutes remind me of like the standoff between Joker and Batman and The Dark Knight, because it just has that feeling of like urgency, like you need to stop this guy before he does something that's like really gonna be like catastrophic. And the thrilling aspect of it is kind of, that's I like this movie. I had a good time watching it. I think that like I said, it was a bit slow on some points, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it for sure. My favorite part of this movie, I would say, is the ending. The last like 30 minutes of this film. They not the last 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes of this film, yes, was very good. But the point is, there's something that happens at the end where, without spoiling much, is what I'll say is this. There's some stuff you hear on the radio, some theories about what people are saying about I'll say this. There's some theories about what people are saying on the radio if you're paying attention to the movie, where you keep hearing this lady talk about, oh, where are these criminals coming from? They're on an island or something. They're experimenting with these criminals, and they're releasing them back into the public, and they're doing all these things and stuff like that. And you keep hearing it, and you just think, okay, it's just somebody just being conspiracy theorists, and the psycho killer is like listening to us, and people hear this, like it's just something in the background. You don't really pay attention to it. Then at the very end, like the last 2 minutes, I'm trying not to spoil this, but this is what I'll say. At the very end, at the last 2 minutes, they show a facility. They don't really tell you what it is, but they show a facility that's like super far away. It's basically almost like an end credit, but it's in the movie, but it feels like an end credit. As they show a facility, and then they show a character. That's all I'm gonna say. And when they do that, there's a tiny bit of ambiguous. It's a bit ambiguous because it's like, okay, is this what they're talking about? Is this actually what we heard on the radio, or is this just some Alcatraz place or whatever? But to me, I'm like, if that's what you're going with, if we're really talking about, people might be being experimenting on these criminals and then releasing them back into the public, that could be interesting. That could be, but I think they should, if that's what they're trying to tell us, they need to give us like maybe like 5 or 10 more minutes just in that facility, show us something. I don't know if that's what it was, but that's what it felt like. And if that is what it is, that's interesting, because that means if there's a sequel and you have people getting released and a psycho killer 1, 2, 3, whatever it may be, you could potentially create a franchise off of that and make it interesting with different killers being released. But you have to, like, I think, give us a little bit of that facility if that's what it was. I'm not completely sure, but that's what I'll say. But I did enjoy this film, and if I had to, if someone told me, yo, you have to give this out of 5 stars, just to kind of like give you something, I would give this a solid 3 out of 5. Solid 3 out of 5. It's good. It's like right there. It's not too bad. It's not too good. It's right there. But I would say the last 15, 20 minutes, and 30 minutes of this film, where it gets really thrilling, I was rocking with it. I was rocking with it heavy. So I would say that's why it kind of goes over a 3 for me. But like, if I'm really just thinking about my full experience, like solid 3. But I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the ending. I think the ending really brings it all together for me. But I would say check it out if you can. Check it out if you can. But just understand that there may be a point where you might feel a little bit slow, but I would say just the ending, I think the ending is a bit of a payoff. It's a bit cathartic when a character gets to do something, maybe, is what I would say. But then the ending I'm kind of giving out some stuff, but it's very vague. But if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you still have enough to kind of go in and be super surprised by a lot of stuff that happens. Yeah. One thing I gotta say though is the main lead, Georgina Campbell, I believe her name is. I like the project she's picked. Like I've seen Cold Storage. I've seen a lot of like I like movies that she's in. She was in that movie that I think a year or two ago. Forgetting the name. I'm forgetting the name, but it was like an Airbnb and there was something underneath and it kept going. I'm forgetting the name of it. But the point is, Georgina Campbell, she picks good projects or her agency or whatever. Like I like every movie that she's in that I've seen, I've either been interested or they just have a certain different type of feeling to them. So I think I'm gonna just keep seeing movies that she's in unless she picks some duds in the future. But so far, she's every movie I've seen her in. The movie is not a terrible movie. The movie is interesting in a way. It's different. Even Cold Storage. Cold Storage was so different than a lot of movies than I've seen. I recommend if you haven't seen Cold Storage, look it up, see if it's still playing in your area. It's a great movie. It has our boy from Steve Harrington is in it. Our boy Joe Keery. So from Stranger Things. So check it out if you want to see that Cold Storage. But I like the project she picks is what I'll say. But yeah. I did enjoy this movie. The only thing I would say is the cop character who basically turns into a detective after, something happens to someone she cares about, is that she puts herself in these positions where she should just wait for backup. And she just keeps doing it. And I just feel like that's the only part of the film where I was like, I don't want to agree with what you're doing right now. You know this person's dangerous. Wait till backup gets here, then go in. But at the same time, there's like a time crunch because if they get away, you never might see him again. So I kind of forgive her for that. But it's just like, dang. Some of the points of the film, like, just wait for backup. But she got to just go and get it. She's emotional. She's in this state of mind where, she has to get this person. She's got obsessed about. She got to get him. So I kind of understand. One thing I got to shout out to is the whoever played the psycho killer. Very good. Whoever they got to be the psycho killer is very good because he's massive. First of all, he's massive. Like he's very tall. He has muscles, and then like there's not a lot of shots with his shirt off, but there's like one shot like towards the end where you get to really see his full build, and he has like this big presence to him, and then that mask that he wears is just like it kind of gives off like an iconic kind of feel to it. They did a good design with that mask. I think the mask does most of the work, but then the actor himself, he has like this like he talks in like this voice like a killer, basically, I guess. He talks like it just at first it seemed a bit comical, but then I got used to it and I was just like I kind of understand it a bit. And I wouldn't be mad if we got another character like this in this universe. I wouldn't be mad. I don't think that would happen, but I just like this actor. I would like the idea of him being a returning slasher, and I don't think it'll happen. But if it did with that voice and his size and like the mask, it just works. I think it can actually work. And I like that we never got to see his real face. I do like that. So if they do it, that would be cool. If like maybe if they make another one, if his face gets slashed a little bit and you see pieces of his face, but you never really see his full face, I think that's the way to go about it. But yeah, but it's been my review. Check it out if you can. Anastasia, know the name, spread love and light, and let's sign off with a, I don't know, still sniper.